Nothing says Cheltenham more than a cracking offer from Paddy Power. It's money back as a free bet on all losers if the starting price favourite wins in the first race every day of the festival. Max free bet £10, T's and C's apply. 18 plus begambleaware.org.
Welcome along to the Racing Post Postcast. It's an emotional final Cheltenham Postcast of the week. The rain's lashing down here, but we're in good spirits. We've had a great week, and hopefully we're going to round off this fantastic festival by bringing you a few winners from day 4. I'm Bruce Millington, and joining me to help you through the card are David Jennings, Paul Keeley, Brendan Duke and Paddy Power's Paul Binfield. Right then, without further ado, we will start off with the 1:30 on Friday. It's the JCB Triumph Hurdle, and with all this rain business, I should think Apple Shakira is getting a firmer and firmer favourite.
Yeah, we spoke on one of the earlier postcasts, myself and you, Bruce, and I was going to take Apple Shakira on at this meeting, but you convinced me otherwise, and the way the ground is, I just can't oppose her. We're just a quick advert, we're money back all losers in the first race tomorrow if the SP favourite wins. So
which it will.
Which it will. Bruce, I agree with you now. Run 3 times on soft and look at it. So, yeah, I think she's a good thing.
Are you going to give some prices?
I'll try to, yeah, sorry. 2 to 1 Apple Shakira, 9 to do Rhodesian, Stormy Island, 7 Far Class and Mr Adjudicator, and it's 12 bar.
Have a small field, Brendan. Have we got a good favourite here, a worthy fav?
Very worthy fav. It's all come up back at Apple Shakira, hasn't it? 2 mile, 1 furlong on the new course, a savage stamina test in the ground for a 4-year-old. She'll relish it. She was already the best jumper in the race. I thought she was vulnerable to a speed horse on normal Cheltenham ground, but that isn't the case. I'll be very surprised if she's beaten.
That was a beautiful answer. If you could just move the umbrella a little bit to your right while you're doing it. That bush is as dry as a bone, but I'm falling between 2 brollies here. Keels, I'm predicting you're not going to tip the fav here.
No, I'm not going to tip the fav. I've been against her all the time. I'm less against her now because of the rain, obviously. But the best horse she's beaten is Look My Way, and he was well thumped in the Fred Winter yesterday. I'm not 100% certain about the form. I think the Irish form was better myself, Mr Adjudicator and Far Class in that spring juvenile hurdle. I think with a stiffer test of stamina and a longer lead into the race, Far Class has got a big shout at turning it around.
DJ, what's your Triumph view?
Very boring, like Brendan said. I think Apple Shakira, everything has fallen in her favour. All the ducks are in a row. I think the stamina test and everything, and I know you can crab her form with Look My Way, but Nuba Negra travelled like the best horse in the race in the Fred Winter, and you know she has form tied in with her. I think she's similar to Defi Desai last year. She's rock solid. She's got course form, and I think she'll win.
The 210's the County Hurdle. How do you bet, Paul Binfield?
10 to 1 Blur Rouge and Flying Tiger, Bruce. 12 to 1 Ivanovic, Gorbatov, Sansen, Duke of Detail, and it's 14 to 1 bar.
Willie Mullins has won this 4 of the last 8 years, DJ. He's obviously piling in the winners this week. Will he win this?
He's certainly got a big chance. Mary DeVee was the one I was interested in from his stable. Ruby Walsh was pretty keen on him on a few preview nights, and just bounced back to form last time at Punchestown. I thought that had a big chance. Whiskey Sour is very interesting. A lot of shrewd judges fancy this Whiskey Sour. He's got the Grade 1 novice form, so those 2 are certainly big prices each way. All along I've been fancying a hair breadth, but if I was forced to make a selection now, it would be Whiskey Sour.
Keels, who's your selection?
Yeah, a little bit worried about stable form, but as Nubi Negra ran well yesterday, I'm going to go with Spirit of the Games. He's twice the price of Blue Rouge. He's £8 better off with him for the Betfair Hurdle third, which makes him roughly the same horse, and obviously Blue Rouge is joint favourite, and I just think the stiffer test will suit him. And
how are you last in the trip, Keels? Your stamina holding up all right?
Not bad. I mean, for somebody who wasn't supposed to be drinking, I was wasted by just after the Champion Chase yesterday, but I cracked on till about 11 o'clock last night, but I'm all right otherwise.
Good man. Brendan, who wins the county?
I'm going to chance Chesterfield. Intuitively, you would suspect the ground has gone against him because he came alive in the spring last year, but I'm not sure that was ground related because he has won at Cheltenham on soft ground. He's bi-pivotal, proven in a big field handicap, and on his Scottish Champion Hurdle win, he's well handicapped.
And Binners, the County Hurdle winner is?
Spirit of the Game, stick with Paul Keeley. I think that third to Kalashnikov has been well franked in the Supreme, and he was also second in the Lanzarote, which is always a great race for future winners.
Lovely, back in a mo.
Nothing says Cheltenham more than a cracking offer from Paddy Power. It's money back as a free bet on all losers if the starting price favourite wins in the first race every day of the festival. Max free bet £10, T's and C's apply. 18 plus begambleaware.org.
OK, we're back. DJ's handed over the brolly duties to Keels, so we're going to look at the Albert Bartlett. We're going to keep Keels till last because I know he's got a strong fancy here. And don't forget, guys, if you listened to the postcast last Friday when we had a look at it, Frank Hickey was really, really sweet on Talk Is Cheap. So we'll find out what price Talk Is Cheap and the other market leaders for the Albert Bartlett from Paul Binfield.
Well, we've got Santini at 4-1, 5 Chef des Obeaux, 11-2 Chris's Dream, 11-1 Poetic Ribbon, 12 Callet Mad, and OK Corral, and it's 14 bar, including Frank Hickey's fancy.
Who's your fancy, Brendan?
I thought Chef des Obeaux. I mean, obviously, stamina is a massive asset in this race. Any year, it's a brutal test. It's going to be a particularly difficult test tomorrow. This horse looks like he'd stay 4 miles, proven in deep ground. I think he'll win.
And DJ.
Yeah, me and Brendan are going to go down together, I think, on Friday. Chef des Obeaux, you need to have won over 3 miles. These horses get taken out of the comfort zone. You need something that's guaranteed to stay in these conditions. Little did I know I'd be tipping Chef des Obeaux when he scrambled over the line at Uttoxeter before Christmas. I thought he was really good next time at Kempton, and that performance at Haydock on bottomless ground, he was relentless. And I just think if he's within striking distance turning for home, I think he'll grind them down and win going away. I think he deserves to be favoured, and I think he'll go off favourite.
Keels, after 50 preview nights, it's not too late for one more reprise of the Stat of Cheltenham. This is a great, great sus, Keels. Give it to me one more time and then tell us why you fancy Callet Mad.
Yeah, basically you need to have run loads of times to win this race. Penhill was having his 27th run last time on the racetrack. You know what I mean, Harry the year before had 17. And, you know, all these lightly raced horses, they get beat time and time and again. Only 12 horses failed to finish the Supreme in the last 10 years, and only 14 failed to finish the Ballymore. 62 failed to finish in the Albert Bartlett, and it'll be even worse. I'd imagine nearly half the field won't get round. Callet Mad was a 5-year-old last year. He ran in the National Hunt Chase. He was still cantering going to the 3rd last, and he was a year short of his 5th birthday. He's had a wind up since disappointing at Doncaster. He bolted up in a Pertemps qualifier at Musselburgh with 3 mile 2 furlong on soft ground. He will stay, he will travel well, and I just see him going really, really well.
You haven't said it, you haven't said it, come on!
What's the stat?
If you backed all the horses.
The horse with the most races. Come on, man, you've done it every pub. If you back the horse that had the most races in this, in every running of the Albert Bartlett, come on.
I think you're back 4 winners at 33, 16s, 11s and 9s, I think, something like that.
That was like Frank Sinatra forgetting the words to My Way. Okay, the big race of the day and indeed the week is the 3:30. It's the Timoko Gold Cup, and Paddy Power's prices are as follows, Binners.
Well, Bruce, our Duke's now come into favouritism.
No way!
Yeah, 4-1 favourite, 9-2 Mike Bite and Native River, 8 Kiliatar Vic, 11 Definitely Red, and 14 Bar.
Give us a few more.
My phone's in my pocket because the weather's so desperate, Bruce.
Okay, right. Well, has Binners named the winner in that show, or is something going to come from left field and win the Gold Cup, Brendan?
There are some left field shouts, notably Bashasan, an underrated horse, just because of another stat that Gold Cup winners don't traditionally have run their previous races, Tremor, but Bashasan has a chance at a big prize. I like Ed Wolf, actually.
That'd be some story, wouldn't it?
It'd be a great story, but technically he has festival form until whatever happened. He was running very well. He will stay, he will handle the ground, and he's a lightly raced 9-year-old. He doesn't have a lot to find. I think the only horse in this race who can run to 170 plus is Mike Bite, and obviously the rain's no good for him.
Ed Wolf, you'll remember, he was, you know, he took a turn for the worse after running last year, and he was treated for absolutely ages, and it looked terrible. And in the end, the veterinary team did a fantastic job. He was led away. He's come back, and he's been fantastic. This would be one of the great racing stories if Ed Wolf wins the Gold Cup, and Brendan thinks he will. Keels, who do you think will win the Gold Cup?
Yeah, well, I disagree with Brendan about only one horse being capable of running at 170 plus, because our Duke giving £7 to presenting Percy last time, that now looks a sensational piece of form, and if he can jump, I think he's the one horse likely to blow him away. I'm not going to tip anything at 4-1 in a race like this, though, because I do think it is wide open. It's obviously going to be very difficult out there. I'm tossing up at the moment. American got supplemented. Now, he travelled behind Definitely Red, and he travelled like the best horse in the race for most of it, and it was technically his first run of the season because he was so poor at Newbury in the Hennessy. And then the other one,
like a light, Keels.
Yeah, but that was, you know, it's, like I said, it's technically his first run of the season. Like, you know, and he actually travelled really, really well, and he wasn't beaten that far. And the other one is Annabelle Fly. He fell last time, but I mean, he stays forever, loves deep ground, and has big handicap form, and I think he might just run well at a big price.
Who do you like, DJ?
I like Arduke. The price is gone. I said on a couple of preview nights that he reminded me of a mini Denman, and I was laughed at hysterically by the audience and Ruby Walsh. I just think I can sometimes you have to try and visualise a race, and I just think Arduke, I can see him taking it up with a circuit to go and trying to gallop them into submission, and I think him and Might Bite are probably the only two horses that could do that, and because the ground is the way it is and Arduke has coped, like, he won his bumper on heavy ground by a wide margin, I just think he's the most likely winner of the race. His price has gone 4-1 now, considering he was 7 and 8-1 last week, but I do think he's the most likely winner. As Paul said, I wouldn't be surprised to see Annabelle Fly run well at the big price. He's a better horse than he showed last time. He was very good in the Paddy Power chase, but yeah, I've backed Arduke at 7-1, and I'm in a good enough position.
None of you have mentioned the winner, who is definitely red. Back with the Fox Hunters.
Nothing says Cheltenham more than a cracking offer from Paddy Power. It's money back as a free bet on all losers if the starting price favourite wins in the first race every day of the festival. Max free bet £10, T's and C's apply. 18+ BeGambleAware.org.
Right then, after the heady excitement of the Gold Cup, we've got the Fox Hunters and Paul Binfield. Who heads the market here?
Burning Ambition, Bruce, 11-4, 11-2, Wonderful Charm, 7 Fox Rock, 12 KG Burley, and Virac, and it's 14 to 1 bar.
David, do you have a strong opinion on the Fox Hunters?
I've actually started to, and it's a horse that nobody seems to mention. I like Cad de Burley. I go back to his Paddy Power win when it was sponsored by Paddy Power, the big race in November at the Open meeting, and that was on soft ground, and he really coped well with conditions, and it was a very good race. Like, Oscar Whiskey was in it, John Spurd was in it. Now, obviously, it's 4 years on, but he's obviously running in weaker company. He handles the track. Rose Loxton seems to have done a tremendous job with him. I just wonder, has he still got that little bit of class? He's not as old as some of them. I know the favourite is much younger, but I just think at a double-figure price, given that he has track form, he handles the ground, he's in good form and points, I think he's probably the one that's overpriced. Burning Ambition is a young up-and-comer who's likely race, could have any amount of improvement in him, but I'm going to side with Cad de Burley.
Kills, you've ridden out with Hunt since you were about 6. You go to points most weekends. Who wins the Fox Hunters?
Well, everyone tells me Burning Ambition, but I like another horse that has got back handicap form for Paul Nicholls, and that's Union East, who's won 200 chases by half the track. Obviously very, very weak races, but he loves soft ground. He won what is now the Caspian Caviar Gold Cup a few years ago by 11 lengths and walk on absolutely bottomless ground. And he's going to love it out there, and if he's still got anything about him, he must have a massive chance, and he's about 20-1.
Righto, Union East for Kills. Who for you, Brendan?
Not a race I ever have a strong opinion on, really, and no different this year. But Grand Vision is having a fine season. Will handle the ground, has a good pilot, and will stay on. He's 14-1.
And as a flat fan, Brendan, when the Fox Hunters running, do your thoughts start drifting towards the Doncaster and the Curragh and Leopardstown and the Guineas and all that kind of thing?
Well, it's only around the corner. The Masters and Classic Trials, April, according to T.S. Eliot, is the cruelest month. Mug, it's not. It's a great month. I love April.
Jolly good. Well, we love March. And who's going to win the Fox Hunters, Binners?
Well, I believe that these good chasers that run in this race don't do as well as when they go to Aintree. But despite that fact, I'm going to go for Alan Fleming's Fox Rock. I think he's run well behind Gil Gamboa, as has the favourite at Turles in January, and I think he's got a shout.
OK, the cruel thing about the Cheltenham Festival is that if you're behind with 2 races to go, it's so bloody difficult. And we're into that twilight zone now where people are desperately trying to go around the nightclub, depth charging drinks, trying to pull girls and get some winners. So we've got the Martin Pipe first, and this is wide open, I guess, isn't it, Binners?
Very much so, Bruce. 6 Flawless Escapes, 7 Sargi Burley and Early Doors, 8 Diaz de BF, 9 Dil Destrevol and 12 Bar. Not easy, that one.
No, Brendan, is this easy?
Well, my bet of the meeting is this DS DBF. The Lanzarote form, as Paul mentioned, very strong, top of the game. Just chinned off 150 yesterday in the Coral Cup. This horse went off favourite just at a crucial stage, kind of hung fire, probably through inexperience, first handicap, what have you. Stamina, again, a massive asset in this race, and particularly tomorrow, DS DBF should be favourite, and I think will be favourite.
Bet of the week for Brendan,
DS DBF.
Kills.
Yeah, absolutely agree. He was 5th under Mitch Bastian in the Lanzarote. He went wide all the way round. That is the hottest handicap hurdle form this season. The second was Spirit of the Games, who was third in the Betfair Hurdle. The sixth was Cool Blimey, who was fourth in the Betfair Hurdle. The third was sixth in the Coral Cup yesterday. Top of the game was fourth. He won a big handicap at Sandown. Then he finished second in the Coral Cup yesterday. It's just red hot form, and DCBF would have gone a lot closer with a better run through the race. And I think he definitely should be favourite.
Wow, 2 strong votes for that one. What about you, DJ?
Oh, I'm taking the lads on here, Bruce. My strongest fancy of the day is in this. I've been waiting all week for Early Doors, who is double figures elsewhere. Paddy is running scared of Early Doors. I cannot wait to see Early Doors run in this race. Go back through his form, Bruce. It just stands out. Like that run, he was second to Mengley Khan in the Royal Bond, miles clear of the third. Mengley Khan ran a cracker in the Supreme, and that was the real Mengley Khan in the Royal Bond. If you go back to earlier on in the season, he hammered Mary DeVee at Naas on soft to heavy ground. Mary DeVee is now rated 139. He's running off 142. JJ Slevin won the race last year on Champagne Classic. Early Door's been laid out for this race. I think he could be considerably better than the mark of 142, and I cannot wait to back him. I would urge podcast listeners to listen to me and not Paul Keeley for once.
Blimey, O'Reilly, that came alive there. Okay, and then the final race of a great week is the Grand Annual, and Paul Binfield, give us Paddy Power's prices for the jolly last.
Yeah, another tough one, Bruce. 7 North Hill Harvey, Don't Touch It. 12 Rock the World. 14 Gardla, Victoire, Vaneter and Valdez. Dolos and the Inval, 16 bar.
Okay, it's not difficult at all. North Hill Harvey will piss up. Keels?
Yeah, you've missed the prices on that one, haven't we?
I haven't.
Well, you might not have done, but I don't think everybody else has if they haven't backed it. I like one down the bottom. There's a 7-year-old in the race that has already been placed at 3 previous Cheltenham festivals. Bouvroy, second in the Fred Winter, second in the Close Brothers, third last year at Road Respect in the Plate. All of those are 2.5 miles, but I've been waiting for this horse to come back for 2 miles. I think a really strong run race over 2 miles will suit him. Trainer said he's worried about the ground, but he's gone really, really well through his races on soft ground round here, and then just not got home over 2.5. I think he's got a right chance.
Paul Binfield, who do you think will win the Grand Annual?
I'm going to go for Vaneter, Bruce. I think he's had a wind up, so that might improve him. He was second to a lovely horse called Politolog in the Desert Orchid Chase, and at a lovely double figure price, I'll go for him.
And Brendan Duke.
Well, I wouldn't be...
Whoa there, Leslie.
If we go to David.
Okay, we'll go to David. David, no chance of you swallowing your words, is there?
Ladies and gentlemen, they call that a hangover. Yes, indeed. The one thing I am sure, well, I'm reasonably sure of, is that JP McManus will win this race. I backed Don't Touch It weeks and weeks ago at bigger prices than he is now. The ground is a big worry, though. But he's got cheek pieces back on. He hasn't worn cheek pieces since he won at the Punchestown Festival last season. I think he's well handicapped off a mark of 149. I also think Le Parisienne on this ground is well handicapped off 150. I was praying that he'd run in the Brown Advisory, but he's not. They'd be my 2 against it. I can see Paul's angle with Le Bourville, or whatever way you pronounce it. But Don't Touch It and Le Parisienne, I'll couple both of those.
Okay, Brendan, you'll clear that vomit up from that bush afterwards. Who do you fancy for the Grand Annual?
Indeed. Well, I wouldn't be quite as balshy as you about him, Bruce, but I do think North Hill Harvey has a lot going for him. Track, ground, solid jumper, still has some upside over fences. I'll be having a small bet on him.
Well done, Brendan. You know. Thank you very much, chaps. That's great. Now, thank you very much for listening. It's been a great week. We've loved bringing you the Postcast. We're back on Monday to review Cheltenham. We're back next Friday looking ahead to the following weekend. So do join us for that.
Nothing says Cheltenham more than a cracking offer from Paddy Power. It's money back as a free bet on all losers if the starting price favourite wins in the first race every day of the festival. Max free bet £10. T's and C's apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.